The following program will make you want to grow things and experience new and wonderful dreams about your plants, garden, and garden design. Listener participation is always strongly advised. Good evening and welcome to Down the Garden Path with your hosts Joanne Shaw and Matthew Dressing, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board by telephone in the Toronto, GTA area of Southern Ontario, Canada, dial 905-725-1907. Toll free in North America, 1-866-905-7325. Worldwide, 1-866-656-5477. Send us an email right now. Our email address is instudio101@gmail.com. And now, right to your hosts of Down the Garden Path, Joanne Shaw and Matthew Dressing.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to this episode of Down the Garden Path, where we discuss down-to-earth tips and advice for your plants, gardens, and landscapes. As landscape designers and gardeners, we think it is important and possible to have great gardens that are low maintenance, and we want to help you make it happen. I am Joanne Shaw, landscape designer and owner of Down to Earth Landscape Design for the past 11 years. It is a design-only business here east of the GTA. And with me is my co-host, Matthew Dressing. Welcome, Matthew.
Welcome, Joanne. Good evening, everyone. I am Matthew Dressing, horticulturist and landscape designer, and owner of Natural Affinity Designs. Natural Affinity is a landscape design and garden maintenance firm servicing Toronto and the eastern GTA. Joanne and I enjoy doing Down the Garden Path each week, bringing you interesting, relevant, and helpful topics to help you achieve a great garden. We learn right along with you from each other, from our research, and from the guests that join us here on the show. As always, we welcome your questions via social media, emails, and phone calls.
That's right. We can take phone calls today.
That's right.
Right, because we have a guest who is in studio with us. So we just are changing things up a little bit with the season. You know, we've kind of talked about our winterizing, and we've talked about our urns in the past, and I'm sure everybody with the winter weather that has been upon us now twice by December 1st, everybody's kind of hunkering down, don't you find? Like Everybody's turning to the inside of their homes. So I'm excited to learn. We are going to talk about Feng Shui today inside our homes. And it also applies to the garden. So we're excited that there will be a future show that will talk about Feng Shui in the garden, which is tied with, of course, our gardening with here down the garden path. But now with everybody kind of getting ready for the holidays and getting ready for the new year, you know, it's kind of the in thing to do, right? And so I'm very excited to have Trish John here, and she is an inspired Feng Shui practitioner and professional organizer. She has been helping people get their homes and offices organized and Feng Shui'd since 2005. Trish has been studying Feng Shui for over 20 years, and she is the founder of Your Spiritual Connection. True's passion in life is to help... What did I say? Trish's passion in life is to help people make connections in their life through Feng Shui and getting organized. She loves teaching her clients and the participants of her classes and workshops the benefits of adding Feng Shui to their indoor and outdoor environments. Trish offers feng shui and organizing consultations to fit everyone's budget, as well as classes and workshops throughout the Durham region. And she even offers virtual consultations. Welcome to the show, Trish.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and I'm excited that you're in the studio. I think we always enjoy that, don't we, Matthew?
We do. It's
That's
so
right.
rare when we get someone in here. So
I know.
exciting.
Well, to find somebody local,
Yes.
that's part of it, right? That somebody does. The drives. You had a short drive.
I had like a 4-minute drive.
That's right. So you're even closer than Matt. I'm the one who's got a 25-minute drive.
4 minutes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is great. That's great.
Yeah.
So we're kind of, everybody's hunkering down, don't you find, this time of
Yes.
year, and kind of looking at their homes and all the media that's kind of, with social media telling us our homes should look like this and our rooms should do like that, right? Don't you
Yes.
think?
Yep.
That this can be a challenging time of year. So why don't we start off with the basics?
Okay.
And I know Feng Shui can be a little visual to explain because it's based on something called the bagua, which you're
Yes.
going to explain,
Mhm.
which is a diagram of 9 squares. So if you follow us on social media, I did post it on our Facebook group and my Down to Earth Facebook page, as well as Twitter. So you can look for us there, and there will be a picture of the bagua map. But Trish, why don't you take it away and explain to us all about Feng Shui?
Okay. Well, Feng Shui has been around for over 4,000 years, depending on who you speak to. It was created or developed in China. Back in the day, they used it over their properties to know where to build their homes and their communities to be protected by the weather, the elements, and all that was around them. Feng Shui is it's about encouraging your environment for all the opportunities that are in life. So it's about encouraging, prosperity, good families, health, all those wonderful things. So that's basically what Feng Shui is about. It's a 3D vision board of your life. That's what we think of it as. When you look at your floor plan, it corresponds to how your life is going or not going, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
And that's what basically Feng Shui is about. It's a design element for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, it's so historical and it's so traditional that people really change their lives and live by it. Like, it's not something
sure.
that...
It's not a fad.
It's not a fad,
for
right? It's
sure,
been
yeah.
around a long time.
Yeah. And you can use it in your home, like we're going to discuss today, but you can also use it in your backyards, in your gardens. You can use it in classrooms. You can use it in any environment.
Excellent.
So it's multi-purpose for that.
Okay. I never
Sure.
thought of, because even you said you can do like a house, a room, or even your desk
Yes.
kind of thing where things
Right,
are
right.
and things like
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
So about placement. Did you want to, so there's 9 squares on the bagua. So it's BAGUA. If
Yes.
someone wants to Google that
Yeah.
as well. There are several variations online, but they're all basically the same.
They are, yeah.
Yes.
It depends on the schooling. There are a couple of different types of schooling, so that definitely changes things somewhat. But overall, the bagua is pretty basic for most schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually have our first question. Thank you,
Oh,
Hannah.
okay.
I know we got questions already. And she says, hi, Joanne and Matt. Love the live guests. So do we, Hannah. And she's wondering if Feng Shui is actually a religion.
It's not a religion. It's a belief, but it's not based on a religion. It's more of a spiritual belief. Again, it doesn't go against any religion, so that's why I don't feel it is a religion. It doesn't say, well, what you believe in is not right. You have to believe in this way. It actually enhances whatever you believe in.
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. I would never say it's a religion, nor does it ever go against anybody's belief.
Right.
You can
Because it's really a
coincide them.
personal thing.
It is a personal thing, and it's about decor and design. It's not about the
a
religious,
being, like a
the
being
religious
or
part
a
of it.
religious icon or anything like that.
For sure, it's not.
Okay.
no.
Okay. Hope
Yeah.
that answers your question,
Thank
Hannah.
you, Hannah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I think you were going to go through the bagua map with us.
Yes. Okay. So there are 9 squares. They're called guas, but you can call them areas, life categories. There's many different ways of what to call them. But they're basically the way you look at the bagua map is as a visual. If you're standing at the front door of your home looking inward, you would look at it. Your front door is either at the front of your house. It's either on the left, the center, or the right of your home. So mine is the center of my home. So my door is in the career area of my bagua map. that helps everybody understand it. And then your back left-hand corner is always going to be your wealth area, and your back right-hand corner is always going to be your relationship area. So that gives you the basic idea of how to lay the Bagua map on your floor plan. But please know, if you live in a back split or a side split, it definitely changes, and that is not the way you would place it. It gets a little more complicated because you have to actually do the Bagua individual on floors rather than the overall of the floor plan.
Okay.
So it does get a little more complicated, but we're just talking like a ranch style home.
Yes,
That's the idea.
and talking general.
In general homes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So the 9, did you want to just walk us through the 9 squares?
Sure.
Or the 9 areas?
Sure. So the back left, like I said, is the wealth area. So this has to deal with all your big purchase in life. So your house, your vacations, your car, that type of idea.
Yes. Yeah.
The fame, which is the back middle, is about your reputation, how the community sees you in life, how your boss sees you, getting recognized for all those good things that we do at work. We hope we do. Relationship is about your intimate relationships, but it's also about coworkers and supervisors, how you are with them as well.
Okay, and that's the
back of the
on the back
of
right.
your house. On the back right, yes. So on the middle left is your family area, and this all deals with obviously your family, your communication with one another, as well as it also deals with your income. Okay. So that's a good one to pay attention to.
Yes,
as well
because
as
it's tied. So it's just below the wealth and prosperity. So it's kind of.
And because they're right beside each other or on a diagonal from each other, they all connect no matter what. But they really do connect when they're side by side.
Okay.
So then the center is your health, because without your health, we have nothing. Nothing works well when you're not well yourself. The middle right is your children and creativity. Obviously, it's about children, but it's also about creativity in life, personal and business, as well as having fun in life, because we sometimes don't have enough fun. We get too serious in life.
That's right.
On the front left is your skills and knowledge, which is about your education, your wisdom in life. If you're going to school, that's a great spot to pay attention to. So university and college students, that's a spot you'd pay attention to. Then your middle front is your career and life journey. So obviously that's about your job or the career you're in, or what your next step in life. Like if you're retiring, that's the area you would pay attention to. And then the right front is your helpful people in travel. So that's all those wonderful people we have in our lives that actually help us in life, be it your boss, your family, your coworkers, your husband, your wife,
friends,
whatever, your friends, and even the contractor that doesn't return your phone calls.
Oh.
That's a place to pay attention to as well if that happens to you. But it's also about travel. So if you want to travel, that's an area you would enhance to encourage wherever you want to travel.
Okay. And Matt, this is all new to you.
This is all new to me, and I'm just looking at the map and enjoying and kind of trying to visualize it. I'm in an apartment, so it
still applies.
Yeah, just kind of thinking. So I'm in an apartment. It's kind of more long when you walk in, and then it kind of like a number 7 shape. If you come in at the bottom of the 7 and then move to the left.
So you would have to be it would be a little different for you. Baguas extend, so a bagua will fit and it will spread out if it's wider, and if it's more narrow, it will just thin out. So you always have all 9 squares.
Right.
You sometimes are missing chunks, but again, that gets a little bit more complicated and harder to discuss when you don't have a visual.
That's right. On the radio.
On the radio,
on the
not a good
podcast,
place,
right?
but
Facebook Live would have been the perfect night tonight.
So that we could always discuss that if you want to understand. Even just understanding how to place your Bagua map can really change things for you, because you'll see your place different than you ever have before.
Yeah.
And you'll realize why certain things are working and why certain things are not working in your life. So it's a good way to see things differently, which I think is good for all of us anyway.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Fresh eyes.
For sure. So we do have a question or a comment.
Jay writes, "Hello, no offense here, but it sounds kind of hokey."
I'm sure you've never heard that before, right, Trish?
I've never heard that before. Oh my gosh. Right?
So Jay says, "Make a believer out of me. I find it hard to believe this stuff."
Okay. I don't know how to make you a believer. I think you have to be open to something like this. It's just like Reiki. It's just like, healing hands of any sorts. it's like, anything spiritual, people tend to feel that it's not real or it is hokey, as you said.
Yeah.
It's what you believe. I'm not here to change your mind one way or the other. I'm just telling you how it has worked for myself, my clients, and I know it's worked personally because it has changed a lot of things in my own life.
Yeah.
So I hope I can change you by the end of the show.
yeah.
I hope I can change your mind, but I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to enlighten you and give you another point of view of how things can be adjusted
Right.
in life.
It's like another lens to look at
Yes.
life through, right?
That's a good
got
way to
all
do it,
different
yes.
points of perspectives. You can
Right.
kind of just apply this kind of methodology and these thoughts
Yep.
to the different areas of your life and
That's right.
and hopefully benefit from you.
That's the whole idea of it, is to benefit from it. It's not, it's been around for, like we said, over 4,000 years, and it's been tested for so many years, of those 4,000 years,
Yeah.
that it's just not a hokey thing.
Yeah,
in my
it's kind of
opinion.
stood the test of time.
So-
And
yes.
sometimes people, I know I've run into it even with landscape design clients when I've gone into their home,
Yes.
that it may not be something that comes up right away, but you can tell that where things are in their home, it matters to people, and then it usually kind of will come out in the background that that's something that they do. And I know you and I, when we first met,
Right.
I had a client where I had done a whole backyard design, and she said she took the final product and she said, okay, can I apply some feng shui to it, and then we can make a few changes. And we did. We had to
Right.
move the fire pit into a certain area, and the water feature into a certain area of the yard. And I wasn't bad, like I wasn't far off. We just had to do a few things, but it was kind of that was another. So it was kind of one of those things that it kept kind of coming up in my life, and with clients and people. And then I met Trish. So
That's
then it
right.
was kind of really like, okay, this is all coming together.
so true.
So I do find it interesting. It can be overwhelming, right?
It can be, and that's why I don't like to say too much about it,
Right.
because it can be complicated, and everybody's home is different. So no two homes are alike, even if you live in
Correct.
the same
Subdivision.
yeah,
All our
it's-
homes are different.
everybody's home is different, because your stuff in the home is different, which is contributing to things working or not working. So every home is different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the things that you did in the garden, when you change them feng shui wise, it will change the energy, and that's what feng shui is about. It's about changing the energy to benefit you rather than deplete you. And
Right.
that's how we kind of look at it as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Jay, it's a bit about energy. So changing the energy up in your home, and I think even if you would say too that clutter, it also kind of starts with what's in your
Yes,
home, right?
For sure.
So in this day and age right now of minimalism and Marie Kondo
Yes.
and decluttering, this time of year, I think people are. This is when I tend to do it for the new year. Everybody starts, all those trips to Value Village and kind of getting rid of all the stuff, your Christmas
true.
decorations, that type of thing. So you think it's very important to have less in your home, and then it's easier as far as the energy goes.
For sure. So decluttering is a huge thing with feng shui. Because I'm a professional organizer as well, they go hand in hand. So my first thing I always say or always talk about with my clients is about decluttering, because the more stuff you have, that we tend to be brought up thinking the more stuff we have, the more successful we are in life. But in all honesty, the more stuff you have usually overwhelms people. It causes anxiety, overwhelm. It can cause weight issues. It can cause exhaustion. There's many levels to having too much stuff. And, I'm not a person that obviously keeps a lot of stuff because that's what I do for a living. But, as I grew up, my parents were not hoarders, but they kept a lot of stuff because they grew up in a different world
Right,
where
yeah. Almost
you
our
didn't have a
parents
lot of
did,
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So decluttering is a huge thing, and now is a great time to start the process as the new year approaches us. So with the Christmas holidays or whatever holiday that you celebrate, going through your decorations before you actually decorate is a great first step. And I do recommend that to anybody. So open all the boxes, decide if you're actually going to use it. And if you haven't used it for the last 3 seasons, Why are we still keeping it? It's
Yeah.
obviously not something you cherish, so why do you have it?
Mm-hmm.
So
And that kind of goes with the Marie Kondo, like if
Yeah.
it sparks joy, then you keep it and find a place for it.
For sure.
And if it doesn't give off good energy and good joy to you, then,
Yeah.
you know, that sentimentality, because I'm big with that, like the guilt of so-and-so gave it to me.
And so many people are.
You know.
Yeah. And it really doesn't do you any good. They usually forget what they give you. You have to understand that. Most people don't remember what they gave you last year or 20 years ago. So, especially married couples.
Yeah, all those
Matt may
wedding,
be the exception.
all those wedding gifts, right? They're right, you know.
And honestly, did I remember what was given to me? No.
Yeah.
People that gave me the gifts probably don't remember either. So I don't have those. Just telling you now. I don't have those gifts. I don't keep them because they weren't something usually that I wanted, and I used it for the time being. And now you change as you grow older. You know your wants and needs are different. So you shouldn't really have stuff that you've had since you were a kid. Because why would you have that? Okay, yes, it brings joy sometimes, the memories, but does it bring you joy today? You know, and that's how you have to look at everything you have. Does it bring you joy today? If you can honestly say, yes, it brings me joy today, then keep it. But if it's not actually doing anything for your life, what's the point? I don't understand why you would still have it in your home. You know, hoarders are a completely different story.
For sure, yeah.
It's a different day and a different topic.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying average people that are keeping average things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do have, Joe is written in, and I think, Joe, if you Google Bagua map, so BAGUA,
Yes.
right? Map, you'll kind of see the layout of the 9 grids, and so and welcome, because you're a new listener. So it says, hello, new listener from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh,
I'm still very confused as to what Feng Shui is, how it is used. I do not get it, and you are using a board. So so we're using more of a map.
Yes.
Right, where you can lay out your home or lay out your room or even another type of space.
Right, yeah.
And it's more to create it goes back to the creating energy.
Creating positive energy.
Positive
That's what
energy.
you want to. So the idea of it is you want to create open energy as well as energy that benefits you. So a lot of homes, because of clutter and other things of where they're positioned, they can make you feel, like I said, overwhelm, anxiety, depression. There's many levels of what it can make you feel. So the idea of Feng Shui is to open up your space, remove things that no longer benefits you, don't bring you joy, whatever word you want to use there, and enhance what you do have to enhance your life in whatever area it lands in. Think of the Bagua map as it overlaps your floor plan, but when you do that, you're not thinking of walls. So walls go down. So sometimes each gua overlaps too. So like I said, it's harder to explain on a radio show. But if you wanted to message me through Facebook or you can email me as well, I could definitely give you more understanding. I do a complimentary 30-minute discovery session. So you're welcome to use that. We can do it on the phone.
That's wonderful.
For sure. Yeah.
So, and that just ties in here, Trish. Karen just asks, very interesting show. Getting interested. Does your guest have a website? Thanks. So, yeah. So if you're just joining us, we're here with Trish John of Your Spiritual Connection. And she does have a website. So you can find her at yourspiritualconnection.ca. So www.yourspiritualconnection.ca. And you can also email her at yourspiritualconnection@hotmail.com. And you can reach her through all of that. So if you're just joining us, feel free also to write us a question. If you have some feng shui questions in your own house, your own life, we've got a fantastic practitioner here with us. And you can reach Trish directly here now at instudio101@gmail.com.
That's right. So Trish, you can also, if you go by the rooms, or you can kind of go by what's going on in your life. Right. So you had some examples of if certain things are going on in your life, what are some things we can do?
Okay. So the biggest thing I usually get is that, money. People have money issues.
It's got to be money, right? Everybody
Especially
wants more
at the
money.
holidays. Everybody never has enough money at the holiday time,
Right.
It's just the way it is. So in all honesty, because like I said, the back left is your wealth area, but also the family area deals with your income. So if you're finding that your income is not to where it should be, or you're just, money just doesn't seem to be flowing in as much as you would like. The biggest thing is clutter. So I would declutter those two areas, so your wealth and your family area. Once you get things decluttered, and when I mean declutter, I mean, yes, taking away stuff that you no longer want, but also cleaning those areas. Because stagnant energy, is in corners, cobwebs, that's all stagnant energy. So unless it's Halloween, you don't want cobwebs in your dining room if that's your back left-hand corner.
Right.
And it's not just the corner, it's the room. And that's what I was saying, as guas overlap each other. But you can clean it, vacuum it, wash the floor, wash the walls, move things around. The best thing to do in Feng Shui is to move furniture, because when you're moving furniture, you're actually shifting the energy, which will change things. My number one thing to tell you before even doing that is take one day at a time and do one area at a time.
Okay.
Don't go through the whole house like, crazy person.
Yeah, because you never make it through anyway,
you
right?
don't.
So
you'll exhaust yourself, you'll overwhelm yourself,
Yeah.
and you'll give up. So don't do that. Do one area at a time and concentrate. Feng Shui is about your intention. So if you're going in thinking money, 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 that's not really the right intention, because it's more of blessings and being grateful, so having gratitude. That's what that area is about, more so than the dollar figure. Okay. So I'm not saying it won't bring in money, but if you go in with a very negative outlook on it, you won't get the results you need. So you have to go in with a positive, happy idea of it, like gratitude and blessings, more than, I need to win the lottery, because that's not what it's about, to be quite honest.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that you can't win the lottery.
Yeah.
Just say it, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a cleaning of the area, decluttering that area, and putting things in those areas that make you feel wealthy. So that could be, a family photo, because that's blessings or gratitude for them. It can be, something that's beautiful and worth a lot of value, has a lot of value. So it could be a crystal. It could be, whatever it is to you that is representation of wealth.
Right.
Right. Do you have any?
Yeah.
So just that kind of something that's in that area that that energy I think we keep talking about,
right,
that kind of you can see that's in that space that like invigorates you or inspires you to do better or continue reorganizing and applying feng shui to the physical around you as well.
Right.
I think like, could you apply it just as like you were saying, I'm just going to go with money, say, for example, if say, there are multiple like bank accounts, can you apply it to like almost like the not metaphysical, but like the way you organize your money and your like your accounts and the way you track your budget, you do things like that.
For sure.
Is it
because it is about your intention. So yes, I definitely think that is a good way of looking at it. So when you're paying your bills, they actually say that you should be feeling gratitude that you have the money to pay those bills, even if it's like a minimum payment of your credit card and you have, $20,000 in debt, but you're able to pay that, what is it, 3%, 5%, whatever it is, right? Feel gratitude that you have the money for that, because when you, like the laws of attraction, when you feel gratitude for something, more of that comes to you. Mm-hmm. So your investments, yes, keeping them in a, a well-organized folder or recording your money in an organized way. All that is about intention and focusing on the positive outcome of that investment.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so
That can be physically part of your space.
it definitely can.
In your wealth and prosperity area of your home.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So you make the little connections like that, like you just said. That's something that's obviously worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you hope it is.
Yeah.
And it would be a great place to put that document in there, and keep giving that intention that you want it to continue to grow, because that's why we have investments, is we want them to grow,
Right.
which gives you money.
Right.
Right.
And my wealth, because you've been to my house, the wealth area is in my garage. So now I'm like, I've got to go home and clean out my garage and clean that corner of my garage again.
And the garages matter, closets matter, basements matter.
Yes.
Drawers matter. Feng Shui you can't hide from.
Yeah.
So, you have to maintain your home, not just certain areas.
Right.
So if your garage is attached, it is part of your home.
Okay.
It's part of your Bagua map. Yeah.
Now, what would you, so the other thing I think the other area that I think people always need help in, or anyway, is health.
Yes.
So are there some things, so that's the center of your home.
Right.
Are there some tips and things that maybe we can, because we're supposed to be convincing Jay, right,
Oh,
Jay? But are there some changes that we could make to the center of our home that can help?
Okay, so the center of your home is always, a hallway. Depends on where it is.
Staircase. Yeah.
Can be, it's always like odd areas. The best thing to do is, of course, clean and declutter. That's always the number one feng shui top tip. But depending on what's there, stairs or, a hallway, you can enhance it by, color. You can have a nice soft, earth tone color in your hallways. If you're a crystal person like myself, you can have crystals in those areas. You can...
I think of keeping the staircase, like all the clutter off the
like
staircase.
Especially if you have children, we tend to have staircases that are full of toys as we go up and down.
Right.
Keep one container on the side of the staircase so you can just bring the container rather than having it all over the stairs.
Right.
You want to keep it clean and organized because you have to realize that is connected to your health. And if you're having a lot of health issues and you do have staircases in that area, it usually represents up and down health issues. It can also encourage, I hate to say that, but it can encourage falls because stairs are, people tend to fall downstairs. So you just want to ground that energy as well. You do have stairs in the center of your home, and grounding energy can be, with a mat at the bottom of it, like a brown or earth tone. That's a grounding energy, as well as crystals are great. There's lots of crystals out there that are great for grounding. I would put a big chunk of like tourmaline there at the base of the stairs, of course, off to the side where it isn't going to be a tripping hazard.
Right.
But there's little things like that can make a big difference. And then if you're a plant person, I would recommend healthy plants in your home. Plants in any area of your home, especially in the health area, are good for your health. So I would definitely encourage that.
Okay.
Cactuses, not so much because of the prickly energy they have, and they might tick off somebody. But anything with round, leaves or bamboo, those money trees, everybody loves those money trees.
Yeah.
They can be anywhere. They don't have to just be in your wealth area. But anything that grows and does really well is a good, healthy plant. That's something I would definitely encourage throughout your home. Just not so much in your bedroom. They don't recommend plants in your bedroom. One plant is fine, but I wouldn't have an abundance of that in your home.
Okay.
It's just not a good.
It's tricky this time of year when they've had to take all our plants from everywhere else in the house to put it away for Christmas, right?
Yeah. Just don't have it right beside your bed.
Right.
If you can have it in your room, just not close to your bed. It just has so much live energy that it may keep you up at night, and that's why we caution against it. That's all.
Okay.
So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You just have to caution.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Liza writes in with a question. Hi, is Feng Shui mostly a phenomenon to organize your life? Question mark. If not a religion, why use spiritual connection? Thank you.
Oh, for my company name, you mean?
Yeah.
Because I am a spiritual person. That is why that name came to me. That's why I used it. Because it's not a religion. It's more of a, I don't even want to say spiritual belief, but to me, it's a belief that I have, which relates to my spiritual understanding.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, I know, and that's just the business name you chose.
Yeah, that is just and because the feng shui and the feng shui and the organizing are connected, that's what I meant by the connection.
Yeah.
So
the talk about religion and the spirituality and everything, just I don't know if where I heard this quote or who it was from, but just because we keep thinking about it as a religion, to me, and this is just me totally personally away from everything else, but to me religion is believing in someone else's experiences, right? An icon or someone did this.
Right.
Spirituality is believing in your own experiences, your own energy, your everything that's drawn you through your own life journey and drawing on that energy, your own energy.
And that's a very good explanation of it, because that's what it is. It's not about believing in a person or a creator or whatever you want to call that person. It's about believing what you feel is right about your life. It's a personal thing. 100% is a personal thing. And when you do feng shui, it is a personal thing. Like I said, no homes are the same. So it's only to reflect the people that live there. It's not to reflect or affect anybody else either.
Right.
So that's what I mean. You can add feng shui to a religious belief home, it doesn't change what your beliefs are. It actually will enhance what you're believing in.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's start. So we talked about, a few different areas, but I thought about, let's say start with the front door, for instance, because you have like one of three options, right? So what are some basic things that people should think about? Because, we're decorating our front of our house for Christmas and the entryway where we come in every day, and it's an area where guests come in. Yeah. So, again, trying to just break it down to simple things for people that are new to this. So what are some basics we should think about at the front of our house? Front porch and entrances, or as well as like when you walk in the front door.
Right. So from the, if your path leads from the driveway to your front door, which a lot of people's homes are, so I'll just give you that visual. So you get out of your car and you walk up the path to your front door. What do you see? Do you see kids' toys? And this is in any weather because, kids are kids and they have toys no matter what time of year it is. So do you see recycling bins, kids' toys? Do you see, just junk? Do you see, an unshoveled driveway or path? That is all energy that blocks things, so blocks energy. Those are things that you're going to, either stumble over, get in the way of, that type of idea. So whatever you feel coming to your door is how the energy feels coming to your life. And that's how you have to kind of look at it. So I would definitely clear the path. I would make sure there's no obstacles for you to go around to get to your front door. So lots of people have the beautiful, plants and big pots at the front of the door. You want to make sure that they're not blocking one of the doors, because a lot of people have two doors to their front door, to their home. Don't block, even if that other door is not used. You shouldn't really block the energy. In Feng Shui world, we wouldn't recommend you do that. So it should be clear and open. And then when you walk in and then you open your door, your stuff behind your door shouldn't be there. So you shouldn't have a coat rack, which is blocking. You shouldn't have shoes all over the place. You shouldn't
That's
have...
challenging in some of our homes.
And it is, and I know, and I understand that 100%. But if you can, we all have shoes, and as women, we usually tend to have more than most.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you have children and all that, because my kids are older now, but when they were little, at least I maintained it in a container and, said, okay, well, you have, one pair of shoes for this and one pair of but the rest goes in your room. Yeah. Or goes in the basement or whatever it is for your home. So you want to make sure there's a clear path getting into your door, and when you open the door, it to be clear and decluttered as much as possible. I'm not saying you can't have, coats and shoes and purses and all that stuff.
Because that's where they belong, really.
And you don't want to have to walk to the other side of the room or the house to get those things, but at least downsize what you would normally keep there. Because, again, anything that is overwhelming... So when you walk into your house, and if you feel overwhelmed as soon as you walk in your house, there's a reason you're feeling overwhelmed. And it's usually because there's so much coming at us that it's kind of like it makes you catch your breath. And if you're feeling that when you walk into your home, that's a big sign for you. Yeah.
And that's you, if I'm interpreting it correctly, that's you feeling the energy that we're talking about.
100%.
That's your physical reaction to the energy in your house as you walk in.
Yep.
And I think that just that word of energy, I think some of the listeners are like, what?
Yeah.
So that's the effect that energy is flowing through you with.
And energy is feeling. Just think of it like that.
Yeah.
If you're feeling something, that's energy contributing to that feeling. So so when you're walking in and you're literally taking a deep breath, or you're feeling a little overwhelmed, so you're feeling like you got too much sitting on your chest, or you just kind of have to take a second before you get to the front door. It could be a lot of other things, but if you're feeling that when you're walking into your house, there's usually a reason that you're feeling that. It could be relationship, money problems, kids, it could be all that. But it could also be what's right at your front door.
Right.
So that's the place I would start.
Okay.
If that's how you're feeling when you go into your home.
Right.
Because when you diminish all that energy, so it's a little less powerful or intense or in your face, then you can breathe and continue on and think about the other areas of your home.
Right. And keeping it clean too, so that the cobweb, because that tends to be, you walk in the house and go, oh yeah, I got to get to that cobweb that's hanging off my light. Yeah. And then by the time you get inside and close the door, you're like, you forget until the next time you walk up and, see. So keeping the dead leaves and the things that get blown in and kind of keeping it all clean.
The snow away from your door.
Yeah, that's all helps with the energy, bringing positive energy in the house.
Yes. And, putting salt out, I know it seems like such a basic idea, but so many times I go to people's homes and their porches are like a skating rink. Yeah. You really have to think of how people see your home, because when they're walking up, like, the mailman or, parcel delivery, whatever, if they're, risking their lives getting to your door, that's a really negative energy you're giving off. So salt for your family as well as the people that come to your house, because you really don't want someone to fall and hurt themselves. It takes you 30 seconds to throw some salt down or sand or whatever it is you have.
Yeah, we'll talk about the whole environmental part about that. But
yes, the environmental.
Sand
is
good,
thing. Right? Yeah.
That's good. But I think somebody, whether it's your apartment, right, like regardless of where you are, the front entrance, I think that is why this time of year everybody loves decorating their front of their home, right? Because but then, and I know I always feel bad in January where I have to turn off the Christmas lights and take down the decoration, and it's just kind of a bit of a bummer, because for like those 4 weeks before the holidays, it just felt so good to arrive home because everything looked so pretty. And then I'd always say to myself, like, well, why don't I do this, take this much care the rest of the year?
And that's a good question. Why don't we?
Yes.
You don't have to have all the Christmas decorations or holiday decorations. You can still have lights on your porch, have your front porch light on. That's a very good feng shui cure to do, is always have a porch light on. Besides the safety issue, it's a bright attraction, here I'm over here light type of idea. And that's a good feng shui thing to do for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Front door is very important. Always pay attention to it, no matter what the season is.
There we go. There we go. All right. And we have another question.
Mick writes in, what do house numbers have to do with feng shui? He's heard some weird things, associations.
Okay, so superstition is unfortunately sometimes connected to feng shui, and I don't really follow that part of it, because to me, I don't believe in the superstitions. Like number 13 is just a number. Yeah. Number 4, they say, because it sounds like death in Chinese. That's why 4 is the bad number. Like 13 is bad in our world.
Okay.
So it's just superstition. 8s and 9s are very powerful numbers in feng shui. So a lot of people tend to buy homes that have 8s or 9s in them. It's supposed to be it is a prosperity number. That's how they see it as, and the 8 is infinity, so it's continuous money, continuous happiness. That's how they look at it. But in all honesty, there's ways to change your number that nobody else will see, but you still have your number that it is. If it's 141 and it's a 6 and you rather it to be 8, you can put a very clear nail polish with a 2 on it and add it there. But again, that's to me superstition, and I don't really encourage that energy. I feel that what you do on the inside and the outside overruns whatever your number of your house is. So don't stress over it. To me, it's what you give to, what energy you give to that is what you're going to get from that. So if you have a great, powerful, home that looks awesome and you feel awesome in it, and you don't have to be a millionaire to feel awesome in your house. I repurpose and reuse my own things, and I definitely recommend that to my clients. Don't feel I'm going to make you go out and buy a whole bunch of different little knickknacks either, because that's not what it's about as well. It's about just encouraging what you have and making it better. And growing your positive energy. For sure. It's about growing positive energy, 100%, yes. And plants are great for doing that. Positive energy is just bringing a nice, fresh, new home, plant home. That's a great
for sure. And I think we've all rearranged the furniture in a living room or in a bedroom, and kind of just felt better and felt like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yes.
Why didn't and so I can see, if you think about the time that you did that, and that was, probably intention because you were trying to fit a new bed in or trying to fit a new couch in, that type of thing. So if you just look at that aspect of it, which we've all really done, right? Like rearranged our child's dorm room, or, you know what I mean, our own dorm rooms. Like we've all kind of had to manipulate something and felt good about it when we were done. So really it's kind of also just approaching your house with that kind of clear perspective. And something different, like the Bagua map is something different, but it kind of is cool to know that you don't, like you can focus on one area, right? That can get you one, like if there is one area in your life that you're struggling with, that you can just focus on that one area instead of thinking you have to do focus on the whole house,
exactly,
right?
Yes. And I don't, like I said, I don't encourage you to do that because you're going to overwhelm yourself, and that's not what it's about.
And it's probably less successful.
It is, because you're not really focused on anything. Like I said, Feng Shui, Black Sect Feng Shui is what I practice, and they're big on the intention that you're putting behind.
Now we're going to get the religion people back again, because that makes it sound like that.
I know. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. Yeah. But it is about the intention you're putting behind rearranging the room, adding a plant, painting a wall, buying new furniture. It's about what you're trying to attract, a positive energy. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to attract the positive energy. You're not trying to change any belief. You're not trying to change, anything.
Right. So it kind of ties in with a bit of the law of attraction, right?
It does. 100% it is.
Yes.
It's a lot about that, but it goes on a deeper level than the laws of attraction, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any other, another area?
Yes. So, you think about your life, and if something in your life is not working, like, we talked about money earlier, but let's talk about a relationship. If you're having problems in a relationship, it does your house does give you signs that contribute, or I hate to say cause, because people don't like to think that's the
cause.
Yeah, it's more of what you're attracting. So if your relationship is on, a rocky road, I would definitely suggest you looking in your relationship area of your Bagua map, so of your home, so the back right-hand corner of your home, and see, what that room is. Is it a kitchen? Is it a living room? Is it a bedroom? What is that room? And what's in that room? Is it full of junk? Does it, if you're married and you don't have any wedding pictures around, why is that? Those things are kind of like, it kind of gives you a clue what's not working. So if you're married and you don't have any wedding pictures and you don't have any pictures of you being a happy couple, why? I would question that. Why don't you have that? If you're trying to have a happy marriage or relationship, whatever it is, why aren't you celebrating to the world that you're a happy couple today?
Is that where the picture should be?
That would be a very good place to have it. There's many other places you could have it, but that would definitely be one place that I would have a picture of a married couple or a couple together, whatever. Nowadays, most people don't get married, but I would have that encouragement of that. If you're single in your relationship area, I would have things that encourage a couple if that's what you want. If you're looking for love, I would encourage you to have, 2 chairs with a little table and a romantic feel to that area of your home. So say it is your living room. I would encourage a couple atmosphere.
Right. So no, like one recliner and a coffee table, right?
No, because you're going to be single. Just say it. I go in clients' homes that, I go into more female clients than male clients. Just seems to be the way.
Yeah.
And they, they're single and they're like, well, I can't find love. Well, I said, well, for one, your wording, you can't find love. You're already telling the universe, whoever you believe in, that you can't find love.
Yeah.
I said, but your home isn't representing a couple. It's representing a single woman. So you have pictures on your walls that represent, have a single woman in it. And then every room you go into, there's single, figurines, pictures, single chairs. There's such a single energy that's what you're giving out. So you have to think of that in that way. Closets in your bedroom, ladies. If you have your closet, it's so stuff packed and every drawer in your dresser is packed.
There's no room for anybody else.
There's no room for anyone to come in your life. So you're saying one thing, but you're living a different way. That's where Feng Shui goes, okay. So if you want to bring in somebody into your life, you have to make room for them. Start decluttering the closets, emptying the drawers, make room, make a side table, like you have a side table on the other side, so they could put their personal things there.
Yeah.
You have to think of it like that. I even heard from one of my friends that is a practitioner. She said, put a spare toothbrush out for them to, technically have a to have a toothbrush when they come
Yes,
over
yeah.
to spend the night or spend the day, whatever. And I thought that's so cute because that's something very inexpensive, very
Yeah.
simple. It's about the energy you're putting out.
Yes. Yeah.
If you want to remain single, power to you. No problem with
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Hey, lots of women and men
Yeah.
don't care about being tied down or with somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But if you are looking for love, make sure your environment is dictating that because otherwise you're going to be single for a lot longer. So,
Interesting.
so.
Interesting. So Ray says, very cool show tonight, Joanne and Matt. Very different than the norm. You're right. It is. It is different. But I just thought we've kind of got what else we're going to talk about outside. And I think this time of year, like I mentioned earlier, Ray, was people are focused more on their inside of their homes and the new year and cleaning and decluttering and fresh starts, that type of thing. So we kind of had that kind of spin on it. As well as you had some tips as far as holiday decorations. I know our time always flies here on Down the Garden Path.
Seriously.
But as you know, regardless of what holiday you're celebrating, there's some. Trish also had a few tips.
Okay, so if you're celebrating Christmas, the Christmas tree, 2 areas that it could be is either the family area of your Bagua map, which is the middle left-hand side, or the children area, which is the middle right-hand side.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking main floor here, not
Right.
all levels.
Okay. Now, what if you can't do that?
If you can't, then the best place to put it is wherever it feels best for you.
Okay.
So those are my suggestions, but I totally understand that you can't always accommodate, where I'm dictating.
Right.
So wherever it feels good for you.
Because I don't want to put my Christmas tree in the garage.
Yeah. No, don't put it in the garage. Yeah. So when I had my other house, we always put it in the wealth area. Well, for one thing, trees represent growth, even though it was artificial. But it is representation of growth, which is a good thing because that's a money thing. But it's also represented blessings, family. That's where we unwrapped our gifts. That's where we spent time. That's where we had our Christmas dinner. That's the way you have to look at it. So anywhere is fine, but the recommendations are family and children because that's what the holidays are about.
Right.
Okay. So candles or lights that you hang up inside your home or the candles that you have in your home. The fame area, which is your back middle, because that represents the fire energy. So that's where I would place those things. Again, if you can't, don't stress about it. There's wherever it looks best in your home is fine, but in your wealth area, I wouldn't recommend a lot of candles or lights because that is a fire energy and that burns money away. So just be careful on how much you put in that area.
Right.
That's just one thing.
Okay, that's interesting. Excellent. And I think that people are putting up more lights and colorful, and that it changes our energy in the home changes.
It for sure does. So everybody loves decorating, like for holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, Easter, whatever belief you have. But there's a reason why we like that, because even though we don't know it, it changes the energy of the home, especially when you have children. It changes. They're excited for this big holiday to come up. Even birthdays, when you decorate for birthdays, it changes the energy in the home. You have more people visiting. You have lots of food. You have a big celebration. Everybody comes, or you hope don't come, depending on the situation, depending on your family. But you love that excitement. It brings excitement, which changes the energy, which changes how things come to you in life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow. What do you think, Matt?
Lots to think about.
Yes.
Lots to think about, definitely. And just very interesting, just going through and just kind of picturing my own house and where I'm placing things. And
that's the great idea. I love that you're thinking of your own place and thinking how it looks and what things are there.
Right, and just kind of like experiencing my space and moving through it. And how does that make you feel? And how is that energy? And why is that way over there with this over here? When really you would just be happier if they were together. You'd feel better in that space if these things were moved like that. So fantastic information. Thank you for sharing it.
Welcome.
Do
And
you want to give out Trish's information again?
Yeah, for sure. So if you wanted to learn more, you're going to go to www.yourspiritualconnection.ca. And you can find out all about Trish and her Feng Shui practice. You can reach her directly at yourspiritualconnection@hotmail.com. And and definitely get in
And you've got some
contact
blog.
with her.
I know you've got a blog on there.
Oh,
You've got some
perfect.
blog posts
I
and
do.
stuff.
Yeah, they're dated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have some great information.
Yeah.
I share lots of information on there. I do have a newsletter that will be coming out again in the new year.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've had a lot of transition in my own life, so I definitely am changing things around with my business as well. So yeah, lots
Perfect.
of good changes coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And virtually, so in the GTA or Durham region,
Yes.
you're available.
Yep.
So follow along on Facebook as well, because then if you're doing any classes, usually that's where you promote
For
your
sure,
classes and
yes.
your workshops. But if someone who is from out of town and would like to get a bit of a consultation, how does that work?
Well, we do virtual consultations as well for Feng Shui, and what you do is when you book your consultation, we do it all through Zoom. So for one, you can record it, which is awesome. So I can send you the link once it's finished, so you can go back because you forget,
Yeah.
what I've said and whatever. And it's just like a consultation. We walk around your house with, you walk around with your laptop or your
Okay.
iPad or whatever. And you send me, before I do the consultation, the floor plan of your
Okay.
home. You can just hand draw it. And so while we're just like I would in person, I would go through your floor plan with you and give you suggestions of things to move and whatever.
Okay. And do most people want the whole house, or are they concentrating more on, let's say, an office or the main floor?
It can be, usually in a consultation, I normally do a whole house. If it's just an office, that can be done as well. It's
Right.
a different price, of course. It's less because it's only one room.
Yeah.
But a house is usually, I try to do the whole house, but I concentrate on 3 areas specifically that somebody wants to make changes to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Trish,
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us here. I think it was, again, having everybody just think about their inside, the energy that we're all creating this time of year. And we're not only going into a new year, we're going into a new decade. Isn't that
Gosh,
incredible?
it's
Yeah.
incredible.
2020,
Yeah,
everybody.
It's gonna be powerful.
Yeah. So you think it's going to be
I
powerful?
think it will be very powerful.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So thank you for listening. I know it was a little bit of a different show, everybody, but I think I'm happy we've had so many people write in.
Yes.
And
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and having Trish here in the studio. Thank you, Hannah, Jay, Joe, Karen, Eliza, Mick, and Ray for writing in.
That's right.
Um,
Again, drop by our Down the Garden Path podcast Facebook group. There is a picture of the Bagua there, and we can answer any questions and have Trish there as well. So we want to thank you, everyone, for joining us here down the Garden Path. Thank you for joining us in studio, Trish.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Matthew.
Thank you, Joanne.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us here down the Garden Path on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to Down the Garden Path with your hosts Joanne Shaw and Matthew Dressing, right here on Reality Radio 101.